And that was I okay. So what I will say is I think a lot of the and thank you by the way for doing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um I would say that a lot of the concepts I think that if you had told me this maybe 2 3 years ago,
Mhm.
that would have been like, "Oh shit, this is
Yeah.
belief in me," you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
but I'm at a point where like I've thought about a
You've done
lot
the
of
soul
the
searching yourself.
yeah, I've
Yeah.
thought about a lot of these things and
Mhm.
I've already kind of grasped and the idea of
Exactly.
that's kind of what I'm searching for. That's like what
Mhm.
is my like purpose or what drives me in terms of my passions. So, but it's also like I don't know if you
It's
feel this way, but like sometimes I don't speak upon these things because it's like I'm
yeah.
talking about myself because people would be like, "Oh, he's not humble. He's not doing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
he's trying to be bigger than life." But it's not that. It's just
Mhm.
that I understand myself. I understand like
Yeah.
what is in my soul and what I want to put out into the world.
Yes. Yes, yes.
So,
And it's also nice to, even if you know it, it's also nice just to like have that confirmation, like, okay, I'm not like just, creating this thing in my head. This is actually real, and
mhm,
just have trust in self
right.
at the end of the day. And yeah,
So
that
I can fact check all of those things, and all of that's true. All of
mm,
the like the my worries and like when it comes to like doubting myself, like all those little things. Yes, it's true.
hmm
Everything Jabril just read there is fact. There's probably much more in there.
yeah,
I think if you were to read my cards, maybe like as I said a couple of years back, it may be like a little bit more uh,
profound.
confusion and like
Yeah,
dark, I guess you would say.
yeah,
I think that I'm kind of hitting that transitional point where I'm sort of in the balance between the good and the bad. I'm
yeah,
understanding that life has bad and those things are okay. And
hmm
also it's okay to have bad. It's okay to
it's
that
needed.
yeah, it's
It's needed.
needed. It's that part of yourself that's needed because it balances out the good.
Hmm
You can't just be good. You can't be the quote unquote when
It would be
people
boring as hell.
yeah, because you also like people always like go, I'm the nice guy. Like when you say shit like that, you're already not
Yeah,
that's a bad thing. You know
yeah,
what I mean? You're
exactly.
actually a bad guy.
You shouldn't have to tell people you're a nice guy. They should just
Right.
see it.
You should
It's like
see
something you
it
have to say.
within you. But also there's like this quote unquote people would look at this as a negative, but like there's the option to say no, the power to say no, the power to put up your boundaries, the power to walk away if something is hurting you. It's
Hmm
okay to do those things. People might say like, "Oh, it's a negative," but you're doing something for you, and people might say that's inherently selfish, but you have to do that for you, and people might think that's the quote unquote evil or bad inside of you,
Yeah,
but it's not. You need that good and the bad. It's a balance
precisely.
of both. Um, so
And then at the same time, like the way I look at things, I don't really look at things as good or bad. I just like to say, okay, this is just what it is. And like, even if the situation seems like it's not favoring me,
mhm,
I know that it's necessary to go through it because I have to learn something from it.
right,
And at the end of the tunnel, there is that light, and then you realize, okay, I didn't go through all of this for nothing. There was a reason why I went through what I went through. It was
right.
to make me, it was to mold me into the person I needed to be to fulfill whatever the purpose is.
Because there's teaching lessons in failure. You have to fail to
Uh
learn.
huh.
If you don't fail, you never
Exactly.
learn. You'll never learn any. If your heart doesn't get broken, you won't know what you actually want in a relationship.
Yeah. Exactly.
And as much as it hurts, and as much as there's pain and all of these things, and granted,
hmm
Jabril, I don't, as you said, like you don't believe in good and bad. I use that terminology just to explain for people that don't
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just
Yeah. Yeah.
easier to grasp those concepts when it's explained that way.
hmm
Um, but yeah, at the end of the day, human beings are human beings. They have emotions, they have feelings, um, and we all are going through something. We're all going to meet a bridge that feels like it's an impossible thing to
Yeah.
cross. And we're
hmm
going to fall into those trenches and we're going to fail and fail and fail and fail until we create stairs that fills in the gap of that bridge and gets us
Exactly.
across.
hmm
Um and I know I grew up on I felt like I had to be a perfectionist. Like if I was not
Yeah.
perfect,
What's your
like
sign, by the way?
I am a Capricorn.
Okay. Okay.
I think that's what you were asking, right?
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
birthday is January 8th. I don't know if that
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
So like my parents always pitched like studying, getting hundreds in tests, and like all of these like
Mhm.
numerical values that made it seem like you had worth in the world. It
Yeah.
kind of puts you in a position where you think that you have to be a perfect human being or no one is going
Mhm.
to like you. No, you're not going to get a
Yep.
job. You're not going to get anything. If you don't finish college and get a degree, no one's gonna
You're
want
fail.
you.
Yeah, you
If
fucked.
you have tattoos and piercings, you're a fuckboy, failure, loser that no
Yeah,
one wants to hire. And none of that shit
it's true. Yeah.
has any value or sentiment on who you are.
Mhm.
There is intelligent, beautiful people with tattoos on their bodies. It doesn't make them less of a
Yep.
person. You know, just
Mhm.
because people want to fade the size of their hair or have a crazy haircut doesn't mean they're expressing themselves in a different way. Just because you don't do that or you're not comfortable doing that within yourself, that doesn't mean that this
Yeah.
person is weird
Wrong.
or
Yeah.
strange or any less than you.
Yeah, because I went through a transformation in the past 2 weeks. Like, it's been wild for me. Like, wait, how many people you have to stream? Okay, I can probably say this, but like, I've been hearing voices and seeing things, and
Hmm.
Spirit has been talking to me a lot. And it's been pretty much, I kind of told me what my purpose was, like, pretty much to change the world and to just bring love and light into the world. Because obviously, as you know, the world's a fucked up place right now. Shit is kind of bad, but at the same
Agreed.
time, I can see that there is a shift happening. People are becoming more, aware of self, and
Hmm.
just the vibration is raising. And I feel like me and you have like a duty to, be at the forefront of whatever change that we want to see in the world.
Uh, I don't know if it's necessarily like we have a duty, but I think like as a human beings
Yeah,
to other human
all of
beings,
us.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
All of
it's
us.
like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
collective. Like we need to stop treating other human beings who basically are just the same as us as less
As
than.
less.
Yeah,
Yep. Exactly. Because we're all the
that I do
same. There's
agree
just some
on.
people that are different stages in their journey. And like when you see someone that is not at, I don't want to say at your level, but maybe not as aware as you,
Hmm.
I feel like you have a duty to bring him to your level, so that we can all be on the same exact page and change things.
It also depends on people are willing to listen.
Willing, exactly. Some people aren't
So
willing.
if I've hit many brick walls with people where people just aren't willing to listen, and
Yeah.
you going to break yourself in half to try to make this person listen? I don't think you
Yeah.
should.
No.
But if people are willing to accept the energy and the effort that you bring forward, I think those people like that. That's why I stream, right? That's why like
Yeah.
I have the chat that I do. I weed out the people that can't make it this far with me. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And um it's either you fuck with me or you don't, and that's fine with me. That's no like I think when you're like a young adult, like when people don't want to like be around you, you're like, oh shit, that kind of hurts. But
Yeah.
you understand that like you're not for everybody.
Exactly.
Like the way that you may present yourself, like how you were already like self conscious about what you were about to say, like how you feel like you're hearing things, like me
Hmm.
to me, I'm not gonna judge you because people believe in religion. They feel like God has
Yeah.
touched them, and like there's many things that people feel whether that is real or not. There's like a
Hmm.
self conscious kind of like voice that people that kind of just touches your soul that kind of ignites
Yeah.
the fire for you to go forward. And whether that may
Yeah.
sound crazy or not is not for me to fucking judge. If it gets you
Yeah.
to where you need to get to, I believe in this. If you are
Mm.
not hurting anyone, keep going.
Believe what you want to believe. Exactly.
If you are not harming anyone, you are not like making anyone less than, or you are not
Hmm.
physically or mentally hurting someone, feel free to be how you want to be.
Yeah.
Express how you
Yeah.
want to express, but as long as it doesn't come at the expense of others.
Exactly. Exactly.
Um,
I love you, man. You're great. You are great.
um, and trust me that you might feel like a transformation, but you're gonna go through many transformations. You
Yeah.
are still very early on in life. I'm still gonna go through transformations. This is not my like
Hmm.
this is nobody's final form. You know,
No, of course. It's always it's unlimited. Honestly, it's infinite. We
and
just keep going through change.
and as long as you are willing to accept that, you'll never be complacent in this life. Because complacency it kills the passion, it kills the
Yeah,
fire. Once you become complacent and comfortable, and I think this is where when we see millionaires and people who have done it all, they
yeah,
are depressed or sad, is because they set a goal and they hit it and they didn't know what else to do beyond
yeah,
that.
exactly.
Like what I'm trying to do in content, that's not the end goal. There's so much more that I
No,
want to
yeah,
do. Like
of course.
I want to continue to just be myself and discover new things. That's why I'm so
Hmm.
open-minded to pretty much everything.
Yeah, that's how you need to be because you never
Um,
know what resonates with you and what
right.
you need sometimes. But
So
yeah, I'm thinking like, especially like in the long goal, like I know I want to bring stuff back to the city. Like, and I live in Connecticut, and there's really
right.
nothing out here.
Uh-huh.
Like I want to, build like, because they are like, they're kind of pushing the homeless people out, like where I'm living.
Okay.
They're like really they're rebuilding, and the homeless people really don't have anywhere to go. And I want to like build like homeless shelters, studios, healing centers, all types of stuff. Like have festivals in the state. And I feel like it would definitely like uplift the people because people are bored a lot, and when people are bored, they do a lot of stupid shit. And
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I just feel like if people had like a reason to do more, and like it was like readily available for them, they would feel satisfied and have sense of purpose in a way, you know.
You mean
But
like the people who are looking for purpose but aren't open-minded
yeah.
enough to really search for it?
Mm.
And
Well, I didn't even think it like that, but you kind of put it, yeah, the way you put it kind of works.
well, not like it's. I didn't mean to make it sound so harsh, but
uh, no, 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 no,
uh,
you're good.
what I was mostly trying to aim at is like I've been there, right? Like when we were screaming
Yeah,
Call of Duty. Outside of that, I had no other purpose besides that. You know what I mean? Like that. It
yeah,
was
that's
just
how I
wake
felt.
up and
Same.
do that every single day. But
Hmm.
I think that I've grown in love with the fact of trying to do something more, whether it be just for people. Because
Yeah, bigger than you.
I was isolating myself from people. I was like, ah, people suck,
Same.
like, and
Exactly. Life
granted,
is terrible.
to an extent, people do suck, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've kind of come to it with a fresh perspective,
Hmm.
and um, there's too many things to do in the world to only accept one thing.
Exactly. There's so
There
much you can do.
there's a
So much.
million and one things, especially in terms of a job, a career,
Yes.
the people that you meet,
Hmm.
love, romances, relationships. There's so many people on this planet.
Hmm.
There's so many cultures and different walks of life that
Yeah.
who am I to just sit here and be like, I'm just gonna go to school, get a job, get
Yeah. Do the
married,
bare minimum.
and
Yeah.
die. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with
Yeah.
that.
No.
If that's what you choose, that's what you choose.
Hmm.
But I it's not for me. And I think
Yeah. That's how I
that
feel.
that needs to be more okay, because I know a lot of
Hmm.
parents, a lot of older generation, they look at their kids and like they're not
What are you
following
doing?
the
Yeah.
structure and the path, and they can be very harsh on those kids upcoming because those
Hmm.
kids see the world differently. They want to do a different thing that goes
Exactly.
against the mold, but they don't have the support because. And I could understand it from the parents' perspective. Maybe they're not the
Yeah.
richest. Maybe they don't have they weren't taught that way, so they don't really know
Yeah.
how to support that. But
And
I think that's
yeah,
why
and
I
to
try
add
to.
on to that,
Yeah, what's up? Go
um,
for it.
a lot of things that they like grew up on aren't applicable to today. So they base pretty much your experience on their experience, and it's just different now. Things are just different.
Right, exactly. So, um, it comes with like just having an open mind. As long as you have an open
Hmm.
mind, you could pretty much kind of like you can do enough to kind of get there and show support to your child or whatever. You may not ever fully get it. And I don't think,
Yeah.
as a child, I don't think you actually want your parents to fully get it. You want to
Hmm.
explain it and kind of show it to them. You want to feel good about the fact that, like, at least they're giving some attention to it.
Yeah. Exactly.
You don't have to hit the nail on the head.
Hmm.
No one's perfect enough to do that every single time.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the open minded to just be open to the conversation. That's it.
Yes.
No one's asking
Mhm.
you to accept it. No one's asking you to change your mind. No one's asking you
Mhm.
to love it. It's just the open mind to just listen. That's
Yeah.
it. It's that simple. That applies to a lot of things. Is to just
Yeah.
listen. Just all you just have to just listen. That your child from a young age, and I guess maybe I don't know if you remember that far back, but if
Mm.
you pretty much gave your parents the tools of what they need to. You're hungry, you'll say you're hungry. You need
Yeah.
water, you know, like you kind of
Mhm.
tell them what you necessarily need as long as they're willing to just listen.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's kind of like the
Exactly.
here's a perspective that I'll leave you on, and I guess I'll maybe be done with this
Yeah.
after this. But the world feeds off negativity, and I was talking to my stream about
Uh-huh.
this the other day.
Yeah. That's very
Is
true.
the world feeds off negativity? When you are searching for a YouTube video, you might look up something positive, but then it'll
Mm.
recommend you something negative because it'll
Yeah.
recommend you something negative because it'll keep you there. It'll keep you
Yep.
searching, searching, searching because in negativity there's no answers, right?
Yeah.
In positivity there's answers because it's like
Mhm.
if you're fat and you want to lose weight, you diet, you go work out.
Yeah.
That's your solution, right? But if
Mhm.
you are feeling like you're anorexic or this, and they keep feeding into those negative thoughts, and you're just going to keep
Yep.
searching and searching and searching because now you're trying to look for people like you, right? Now you're trying to
Yeah.
look for people, and you're falling into these stories, and you're buying it and
Yeah.
you're buying it and you're buying it, and you're like, oh my fucking god, this person's going through this too, this person's going, and like you're
Yeah.
filling yourself with more and more
You
and more
They
and
create the
more.
bubble to pretty much destroy yourself at that
Right,
point.
exactly. And because YouTube, Twitch, like in the recommended, it will always. It's
Mm.
much harder to succeed as the positive person to push the everybody eats mentality, to push
Yeah.
the like the non-party lifestyle, the fucking
Yeah.
drinking, the smoking, the oh
Mhm.
look at my model girlfriend, look at me prank
Yeah.
my friends, look at like all of these high energy kind of like at the core of it is very scummy, and it's like
It doesn't mean anything.
it's showing
Yeah.
like a very like shitty side of humanity that
Mhm.
you provoke that side of humanity, like you're purposely egging these people on for reaction because you want them to act negatively, you want them to
Yeah.
act poorly, you want them to fucking beat your ass, you want them to show
Mhm.
like the worst sides of a human being, and you're
To confirm like your outlook on life, like, oh, everything is terrible. This all
right,
sucks. It's
exactly.
like,
Because let's say remember the girl, the bus driver who knocked out that girl. Remember a long
yeah,
time ago that video?
yeah,
That bus driver was provoked.
yeah,
He was provoked and he reacted, and people will look at that and they'll be like, "Oh my god, that bus driver should never lay his hands on a woman." Blah 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 blah
mhm,
blah blah. But you're provoking this person.
yeah. So you get what you get at that point. You can't like poke someone and then be upset at the reaction. You don't get to control what the reaction is. You provoke them. So
It's like as human beings we poke the bear. It's like if we look at
mhm,
even like religion, right?
yeah,
We chase things that we can't have out of curiosity. We want to understand why we can't have it. Eve eating
yeah,
that apple when God was probably giving Adam and Eve everything they could have wanted except that
mhm,
apple. But out of human temptation, the devil
yeah,
tempted her or whatever. But that's just like it's in humans.
mhm,
We want to find shit that we can't have. We are
yes.
unwilling to accept that we cannot have it. Like we want
Especially in relationships.
yes,
Like when you find someone is like, damn, it's like it's more like for the chase type of thing. It's like I don't think I can have her, but imagine if I did have her.
right. It's the adrenaline of the chase. We want to just keep
Mhm.
chasing and chasing and constantly filling this need to want. And
Yeah.
I'm not a person like that, but I know that
Mhm.
like at a core of human is that we want things.
Yeah.
For some reason we eye things that we cannot have.
And then we don't realize the blessings that are in front of us
Yes, we
and
don't
how fortunate
understand
we are.
like we want more.
Mhm.
You talk to I'm pretty sure people your age because I know like I know that I'm older, but I don't know that how much older. But like
Mhm.
especially like this new generation coming up is grind.
Yeah.
All they do is grind, and they wanted to
Mhm.
and I always ask people. I ask them this question: is what is their end goal? And they have no answer.
Yeah.
They have no idea what the
Mhm.
monetary value of what's enough.
Yep.
I ask this question all the time. What's enough? What is enough for you to stop?
Mhm.
and they never have an answer. It's just that they fall into this mentality that they just have to keep making money, burn themselves out
Yeah.
into depression, to where they're so
Yep.
sad that all they had, they were not developing their relationships, they are not
Hmm.
finding friends, they are strictly in a work, go home, sleep, work
Yeah.
more mentality. And
Yep.
they piss people off, and they cut they burn their bridges because they're like, oh, my friends aren't about their money,
Yeah.
they don't want to be on the grind with me.
Hmm.
But maybe they see something different. Maybe they want something differently, and
Yeah.
it doesn't make them shittier of a person because they
It
don't
might
want to
take longer.
hustle. It might take longer, but at least they're enjoying the journey than burning
Hmm.
themselves out to a position where, let's say, whatever they're doing, they make like 50 to 100K, right?
Hmm.
But they worked 12 to 16 hours a day doing so, barely
Hmm.
sleeping, just strictly working. They burn out,
Yeah.
and then they fizzle out for maybe 2 to 3 years. And the person
Mm.
who is taking their time is still working in those 2 to 3 years because
Yes.
they're working on a sustainable schedule.
Hmm.
They're working within their means. They understand
Yeah.
themselves and respect themselves enough to not burn out.
Yes. Yes. And I appreciate what you told me like the other day about like just taking my time because
Yeah.
I was like I was kind of overwhelmed with like what was coming to me, like everything like changing
Hmm.
around me. And I was like, man, really have to I have to work every single day, every hour of every single day. I have to make
No.
sure like this is perfect. This like, and I have to take a step back and be like, man, like if you like, I did it, I did that with music initially. Like I was
Right.
working on music like 8 hours a day for like
Hmm.
2 years straight, and I burnt myself the fuck out to the point where I didn't want to do it anymore. I got sick of it. I was like, bro, I don't want to do this shit anymore. Like
Exactly.
I'm creatively exhausted. I can't come up with any new ideas because I've just like been just hammering the same nail repeatedly, and it's like fuck. I'm just kind of stuck here now. So like
And
now I'm like more in like the slow grind type of
right.
mentality.
And you see that in content creation. You see YouTubers are like, I'm burned out. I can't make a YouTube
Hmm.
video. Like and then they disappear for months. They might seem like, they may feel like, oh, I'm going to be gone for a few weeks. I'm going to take it. Then
Yeah.
that few weeks becomes
Hmm.
months. It just builds up because they literally push themselves to the brink.
Yeah.
And I did that early on when we were screaming. I was putting in so much time.
Yeah.
I literally I was becoming a person I didn't even like because I was getting so angry. I was like so
Yeah.
fucking. I was like, I'm putting in all the time. Why is this not working? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you need to be okay with the slow grind. There's people who are, just because people are getting married now doesn't mean you got to get married. Doesn't
Exactly.
mean you have to have kids and a family. If you're 35 and you're still working on what you want to work on, then what does that mean? That's your journey. That's your life.
Hmm.
Y- You know,
Exactly.
um, you don't have to be everybody else. Everybody else
Yeah.
is rushing for what? Because think about it. I always use this example of and as I said, once again, disclaimer that I'm not shitting on this lifestyle, but I'm saying that if this is all we're thinking about, that
Hmm.
you're kind of killing the people that want differently because now they feel like outcast. So
Yeah.
let's say you get married, you have kids, right? Now you have to wait till your kids grow up to a certain age before you have a vacation, before you have any
Hmm.
freedom, before you have time. You have to think about a babysitter, you have to think about a million other things other than you, and your time is no longer yours.
Exactly.
Your time is that child. And sure, there's the adults that will still be like, no, it's me, and they'll fucking ignore their children, whatever. That's
Hmm.
none of my business, right?
Yeah.
But at the core, at least in my core morals, if I have a kid, that's my full attention. That's like, I brought this child into the world to give them the best opportunity they have in life.
Hmm. Yeah.
And if that's not your line of thinking for your child, then why have the child in the first place?
Exactly. Exactly.
So
There's like I see a lot of people just putting children in, like they're not financially stable or mentally stable, and they bring these children into the world and they just like corrupt them with the same exact thing. It's like
right, you're just
it's
creating
really
more of
sad
the
to
same.
see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
creating more of
really
the
sad.
same. And that's why I am very okay with not being in a relationship. I'm very okay with saying
Hmm.
like, hey, I can't commit to you right now.
Yeah,
I can't have a kid. I can't get married right now. I'm working on me. Like, this is my passion
yeah,
project. This is what drives me. And this is what makes me happy, you know?
hmm,
And if I bring you into my life, that I'm irresponsible for that because
yeah,
I'm giving you a false sense of that I can give you all the time in the world. Because like if I have a
Exactly.
girlfriend right now, right, and I'm working 12 to 16 hours just working on the stream or like constantly making content and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
How am I supposed to be like it's irresponsible. I'm
Yeah.
letting this I'm killing this person's happiness because they
You
wanted
can't
to
give
be
them
with.
what they need.
Yeah, I'm not giving them what they need, and that's irresponsible of me because now I'm killing their
Mhm.
happiness. They're sitting there waiting on me for something
Yeah.
that I don't know how long it's going to take.
Yes. Yes.
Like, why am I doing that? Now,
Mhm.
I'm very honest about that. If a person is willing to be patient and wait, and they care about me to that extent, that's fine. I appreciate
Yeah.
that, but I can't sit there and feel entitled to this person's time. If they end up
Mhm.
leaving, they end up leaving. I can't be like, oh fuck, why'd you leave?
Yeah.
That's shitty. I
Yeah.
I'm not giving them the time of day. I'm
Exactly.
dedicated to something else. I'm making this my
Mhm.
priority, and
Yes.
that's kind of where I am with this. Like, if you really want this bad enough, it's like you want it so bad you breathe it in. Like
You could see it.
you
You
could
see
see it.
everything.
You see the vision. It's in your head 24/7.
Yeah.
And people see that as like, oh, I have to work until I drop dead for this.
No.
But it's not
Yeah.
necessarily the case. It's going to take time. Anything
Exactly.
that you want in life is going to take time, and it might be quick or
Mhm.
it might take a long time, but you have
Mhm.
to be okay with the journey.
Exactly. That's the part you need to enjoy is the journey. That's the
Mm,
most important part, honestly.
right.
It's the stuff in between, you know. Yeah, I'm glad we had this conversation.
Yeah.
Definitely clarifies some things for me.
And I'm
Because
all
I'm realizing like I was trying to be Superman, bro. I'm trying to do everything myself. I'm like, bro, wait, you don't need to do it all yourself. Like you can ask people for help. And I guess ego
yeah.
sometimes tells you like, oh, I have to do this all myself. You
No,
know?
and to be fair, I feel like a lot of the time people don't reassure you that you can ask for help. I do
Yeah.
think like it goes both ways. It's like you're
Hmm.
not asking for the help and people aren't telling you that it's okay to ask for help.
Yeah.
So I can understand that why it feels that way. Because granted, I've been there. Like I've been down this path of what you're thinking, and
Hmm.
I think this is why like especially why I enjoy just having these conversations just in front of people is because
Yeah.
there's going to be someone even younger than you
Who
or
gets like needed it, you know?
yeah, like I just want to try to spread the information. I don't want to hide this information. I
Exactly.
want it to be readily available. If
Hmm.
people have questions, people have like you can't just go out in the open and ask a stranger like, "Hey, how did you do this?" Because they're gonna look at you like, "What the fuck? Why are you talking to me?"
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
I want to kind of build like some normalcy to where having conversations with other human beings if you don't know
It's
stuff is
it's
kind of
normal.
normal. Or
Yeah.
I think for my like the real goal is build like a foundation that kind of like helps people get like therapy or helps them with their
Yep.
mental health because I do think a lot of people would benefit from having a therapist. And you don't
Hmm.
have to have trauma to have a therapist. I think
Exactly.
people need to understand that. You don't there
Yeah.
doesn't have to be anything wrong with you to have a therapist. Sometimes just
Hmm.
talking to someone and having them help you work through it
Yeah.
because to say that you don't get overwhelmed, to say you don't get stressed, like, are you human? Like, everybody
Yeah.
has these
Honestly.
things. And I understand that it's expensive. You may not have
Hmm.
insurance. Like, there's a lot of things that go behind, like, people
Yeah.
spending money for things. And also, there's a lot of negativity towards seeing a therapist. People feel
Hmm.
like you're crazy for like
Yeah.
you're
Exactly. You're a nut.
like you
Yeah.
belong in a fucking straitjacket, but that's not the
Uh,
case, you know. It's just not. And
Not at all.
I want to make that conversation more normal. It should be
Yeah.
more normal. It should
Yeah.
be more normal for you to check up on your friends and
Hmm.
see how they're doing because everybody's fighting a battle you don't see. Like I'm going to turn off the stream
Exactly.
and God knows what happens. I might have
Mhm.
a panic attack. You don't know. Like
Yep.
no one
Mhm.
knows, you know. But you know,
Mhm.
and not enough people share what happens behind the scenes, and
Yeah,
because
it's always the glitz and the glamour and
yeah.
the facade that people put up to, make themselves feel better and look better. But
And Jabril,
people gravitate towards like honesty and
mhm.
transparency. So it's like just be transparent with people and they'll respect it
But
at the end of
people,
the day.
I feel like that's not necessarily true. I feel like people don't like honesty. I feel like when you're telling people the
Mm,
blunt, honest truth, they kind of hide from it. They get very defensive with
okay.
it. You don't think
I
so?
can see that. No, no, I said okay. No, I can see that for sure.
Yeah, I think that like if people were to be honest about everything that they did,
Mm-hmm.
in being an influencer would not be a job. For
Mm.
the sheer fact that when people go on vacations, they're like blessed and I thank you
Yeah.
for this sun and the earth, and it's like people paid for you to go on these on this
Uh,
like there's people who supported you and put money into this, and
yeah. You're like, I did it myself. Like, oh, myself.
people are so quick to throw out self-made and like all
Yeah.
of this shit, but people have been behind you.
Yes.
You're not really self-made. Is that honest?
Mm.
I don't know. I mean, sure, there are people who are self-made. I'm not gonna sit here
Mm-hmm.
and fucking deny that. But is
And at
it,
the end of the day, who gives a fuck if you're self-made or not? Who cares? Like,
right? That
that's
as well. True. Yes.
it's like, did you do it? Did you do what you set out to do? Like, that's the most important part at the end of the day, for
But,
me at least.
but it just seems like everything has to be a flex.
Mm-hmm.
People flex
Yeah.
for no reason. Because what is the flex really for? It's for them. It's their ego.
Mm-hmm.
That's just an insecurity, in my opinion.
Definitely, most definitely.
So
But I don't even post like pictures of anything. I barely post myself on the internet. Like, I don't have to portray anything. I just like, if you like me for me, you like me for me. If not, cool. We just aren't meant to be connected, and that's fine. I get it.
right, which I don't mind people posting things for like likes and
Yeah, of
food and
course,
stuff,
motivational
but
purposes or
but be honest about it. You
mhm,
like you posted the picture of food to get
yeah,
a little bit of clout. You want
mhm,
people to like your photos and shit
yeah,
like that. Like or
or they,
you just do it as a hobby.
yeah,
I know a lot of people that say, "Oh, I just do it for fun."
hmm,
Maybe it's for fun, but it's just be honest, you know.
exactly,
I mean, I don't give a fuck what people do it for, but
hmm,
what's the hide, you know?
yeah, exactly,
Oh, just as you're still here, I just saw that you said goodnight. Yeah, being at peace with yourself and having that internal clarity is what's important. Yes, correct.
hmm,
In short, um, if you had to summarize it, yes, it's just being okay with being you. People may not like that. People may love it. At the end of the day, I think I said this. I don't know if I said this to someone, but
hmm,
I could literally talk about this all fucking day. So I'm gonna cut it off at this thought is a lot of the times, and this goes back to wanting shit that we can't have. A lot of the times
yes,
when we are going through our depression, our rough times, there are people who are supporting you, but
hmm,
we do not acknowledge those people.
mm,
We want the person that we want to acknowledge us when we are in our pain.
yeah,
We want those answers. We want those fulfillment of the shit that we cannot have. There are people that are be
hmm,
like, "Yo, I'll listen to you. I'll be here in your corner," and you will never reach out to that person.
yep,
And I've done it. I'll be honest. I've done it.
yeah, same.
I'm not here to hide.
We all have,
I have had people in my corner, and they said that they would, and I just didn't reach out. I wanted the
hmm,
person that I wanted to fucking understand that. Hey, you hurt me. I want
yeah,
you to know that you
yeah,
fucked me up.
exactly,
And
hmm,
that was that the best? Did it give me any closure? No, it didn't even. It probably didn't help me at all. But
I bet it works. Yeah,
it's what I did in that spiral of emotions that
hmm,
we're just going through. And I had to make that mistake to realize that, damn, I did have people in my corner. There were
hmm,
people there. I just didn't really reach out to them. Maybe I pushed them
yeah.
away.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I was the same way. Like I would be like, I'm so lonely, and it's like, bro, you're like, you have people that want to be in touch with you, but you never reach out to them.
time to set the pod. Very easily, this we could do a mental health podcast.
Oh, for sure, I'll be down, honestly, because I went through a bunch of. I was hospitalized multiple times. I was in inpatient, outpatient programs. I've been through a lot of shit. So like, I
Holy
could
shit!
definitely like shed some light on some of the situations, for sure.
No, yeah,
Because there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. I thought I would be like this forever. Like I'd be like just depressed and like I didn't see the end, and it was so daunting. And
yeah.
now that I finally like I've gotten out of it, it's like a beautiful thing. I just want people to know that there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, no matter how dark it seems. You know.
And I will say that I think there's a lot of stigma. And I keep saying that
Mm,
this would be my last thing, but
mm.
there's a lot of stigma behind having negative thoughts. People think
Yes.
that people tell you that you're fucking crazy for having negative thoughts. Everyone has negative
Mm,
thoughts. I need everyone to understand that. Everyone has a negative, shitty thought. And it's kind of like what you do with those thoughts. It's like, and it's also working through them. Because a lot of this time, especially when we're going through depression, our brain tells us a lot of irrational shit. And it's do we think and we start to think that there's a problem. Oh my god, I'm fucking crazy and all this. But
hmm.
a lot of that is normal. If you don't have a fucking crazy fucked up thought, I don't even know if you're human.
You're not. You're definitely not.
Like if for a person to tell me, oh, all my thoughts are positive, you are the biggest liar on the face of the planet.
Or you're a psychopath, honestly.
Something, but
Something. Yeah.
everybody has bad thoughts. Everybody has a bit of negativity inside of them, and that's
Yep.
okay. No one
Hmm.
is saying that you can't have a shitty day.
Yeah.
Having a shitty day is fucking perfectly normal. I feel like majority
Yeah.
of the days we're gonna have are shitty, but there are those
Mm.
beautiful positive days that come along
And make up for everything.
and make you feel like, yeah, no, maybe it's not that bad.
Yeah.
But it's weathering the storm. And I know when we're
Hmm.
in it, it's so hard to weather the storm. All of what I'm saying is just words. Because
Yeah.
when you're going through it, those words are not helpful.
They don't help. Nope.
They
They have
they
to come from yourself.
they come from you. I can tell everyone how beautiful they are inside, but if you are going through depression, you are
And
having
you don't believe it,
you are and you
doesn't
don't
matter.
believe it, it will not matter. And
Hmm.
I've wasted a lot of my breath, and not necessarily wasted. I shouldn't say
Yeah.
wasted, but I've spent a lot of my time trying to really punch against the wall, and I had to realize that I'm gonna say these words, but I have to
Hmm.
accept that they're gonna need to hear this tomorrow. They're gonna need to hear this a week from now. I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to keep repeating this narrative over and over and over again. What
Hmm.
even if it's just little reassurances for them to understand, like, hey, maybe this guy's kind of right.
Yeah.
Like, because they have to believe it for themselves, but you also just can't be like, I'm fucking sick and tired of you. Fuck your
Yeah.
depression, like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just feeding it. Like it's gonna train you, and some days you just need
Hmm.
to be honest. If you cannot do it, just be like, hey
Yeah.
man, I can't do this for you right now. Just you have to kind of be a very patient with people that are
Set your
going through it,
boundaries. Yeah.
but set your boundaries if you just cannot. But
Hmm.
don't fucking flame this person because you don't have the
Yeah.
energy. Don't like lash out at them for being annoying
Hmm.
because they already feel that way.
Yeah. Oh,
Even
yeah. They
though
already feel bad.
you're telling them that they shouldn't, that one moment, that one negative moment is gonna set them further behind because like when you're depressed, you're waiting for that negative moment. Like your life could
Hmm.
be positive for 6 days straight, and then on that seventh day, on that Sunday, you could have a shit day, and you'll believe that
Spiral.
you are the
Yeah.
worst fucking person for months.
Yep.
And it's a fucked up game. It's
Yes.
a really really twisted game.
Mm.
It takes a lot of self realization. It takes a lot of
Yeah.
crying. You have to be okay with feeling your emotions. You have to
Yes.
be okay with you're gonna cry. You're
Hmm.
gonna be down. You're gonna feel the loneliest you've ever felt. And it's gonna
Mm.
feel like you were at the edge of reality. Is
Yeah.
for the lack of saying what it truly is, but
Hmm.
it's it's scary. It's scary to be in, and I wish that upon nobody.
Yeah.
I wish
For
that
sure.
upon nobody. It is something that this is why it's so important to me. I want to help
Yeah.
with that because it is a place
Same.
that I feel nobody should. I know people are going to end up there, but it's a place that I would
Yeah.
like to help provide as much help because if you have a
Hmm.
healthy mind, you could figure out all the rest.
Yes.
You can
Yeah.
get the job, you can go to school, you can but it starts with your mind. You need to find the motivation. You need to find the will to continue going because if you don't have that,
Hmm.
you can't go anywhere. You oh my god, you see how I could just continue talking is
Yeah.
like you look at like I know a lot of people like judge the homeless or people that are out on the street like,
Yeah.
oh, they're a bum, why don't they get a job? Because in their head they're not there.
Hmm.
They're not
Yeah,
there. They're hidden behind the booze. They're hidden behind the depression, the sadness. They've hit such a rock bottom. They don't even know what out looks like.
yeah.
Um, like I this is gonna be a little bit of a sad story that I'm going to
Mm,
share, and I guess warning if anyone's really sensitive to shit like this. But uh, I was working. When I was working, I got called into the office because I was being a bit of a dickhead. Anyways,
mhm,
but we were calling the office, and me and this guy had a heart to heart. We talked about like mental health, what he did. Like, he was a psychologist in a jail, like his uncle was the warden, like a prison.
mhm.
He was a prison psychiatrist,
Okay.
and this woman had married into this family, and basically this entire family, the entire family, raped this woman.
Wow.
They basically treated her like absolute garbage. She was like she married in to be a tool for the whole family to abuse and use,
Mm,
and she ended up killing this whole family. And
mm,
when I think of morals, I'm like, she did what she had to do because
yeah.
they were treating her like shit. Is it legally correct? No.
Mm,
She went to
yeah.
jail.
Mhm,
She's in the prison system right now. But prison is more comfortable and safe for her than her actual reality was.
yeah. Yeah.
So when we look at people, realize that maybe there's a fucking battle going on behind that story that we don't know.
Mhm.
Before we sit there and be like, this person's a bum, this person's lazy, this person ain't shit. How
Yeah.
about we sit there and fucking think before we open our
Yes.
mouth?
Ask them what like
Understand the story, but before, like, granted, when I'm playing video games, I talk shit. You
of
know,
course.
that's like
Yeah.
normal video game talking
Yeah.
shit. But
Banter,
if I
yeah.
see a person, like, let's say a person comes to school, like normally they're dressed all fancy and they're trying to like flex, and then one day they don't.
Mhm.
One day they just decide not to do their hair. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and judge the person. I'm not even gonna,
Mhm.
I might I might notice, but I'm not gonna say anything about it. I'm not gonna make this person feel like, yo, what the fuck? Like, maybe I might check
Yeah.
and see like if everything's okay. Like, but I'm not gonna sit there and have a negative response to that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You know, if you want to show up to school in fucking PJs, show up in fucking PJs. I don't care. You
Facts.
know what I mean? We're waking up this early is fucking hard.
It is.
So that's the moral of what I'm really trying to say is we don't know. So why speak on
Mhm.
shit that we don't know about?